Hey guys. Hey, I don't know why I'm having such a problem saying hi. I've never had a problem opening a video, starting one, and all of a sudden I don't know how to say hi to you guys. You guys make me nervous. Stop, I'm blushing.
Hi, my name is Kate Santos. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. I'm 5'5" and I am auditioning for the role.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh, I'm nervous. I know I promised a vlog today. However, I started editing the vlog and I got incredibly bored because I felt like I've been doing not the same exact thing, because obviously like every week something new happens, but I've fallen into a pattern, which is fine. Falling into a pattern is fine, but I'm bored. I am really nervous because today I'm gonna kind of let you in on my acting process. Woo! I'd like to give you this little insight into, you know, how I work, because I obviously show you the work and I share with you the fact that I do the work, but I've never told you exactly how I go about doing that work, and I kind of want to, so I guess that's what we're doing today. The actor's process. Kate Santos, becoming Keelie and Paulette. Okay, so as you may or may not know, I have not done theater acting in a hot minute. It's been years, genuinely. The last time I did any piece of theater, I was playing myself, and that was in 2021, so it's been 4 years. Actually, not as long as I thought, but to me it feels like ages. So there's a lot of little things that I've been fucking up and getting really frustrated with myself about. Like the other day during rehearsal, we worked a lot on Ireland, which is, if you don't know, it's from Legally Blonde the Musical and is Paulette's first and solo song. So it was a lot of work with me, Paulette, and I was getting really frustrated with myself because I was forgetting simple theater things, like the fact that when I'm facing someone, I obviously can't face them head on. I have to kind of like outward to the audience so they can still see my face. Hey, I'm used to a camera doing that for me. I've been a little pampered in the film and TV world, and I'm getting a little frustrated with myself that I'm not automatically at that caliber again. I really used to pride myself on being a theater-based actress, and now I don't feel like a theater-based actress. I'm getting back to that, obviously that's why I moved over here, joined the program, blah, 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 blah. But I was getting really frustrated with myself, and I still kind of am. I am not easy on myself at all. I breathed wrong. So yeah, I just believe that I should be able to do more than I think I'm capable of. And so I push myself really hard, which results in me getting sick and not being able to sleep. Whenever that happens, I retreat to something that I know I've been, if not good at least very persistent and detailed about, which is my character work. I love character work. Now, not in a method way, although there are some I can never say this fucker's name. Stanislavski. Sorry, see? Fake theater kid over here. Stanislavski, influences in there. I don't go fully method because that's scary. The feeling of losing yourself, hey, I've experienced it once, I never want to experience it again. And that's what every actor that I like really, really respect or really, really look up to has said, is that they've done it once and they never want to do it ever fucking again because it was miserable. Some actors have literally taken their own lives over it. Some actors have literally like devolved into addiction because of it. And that doesn't seem like something I want to do. Actually, I'm good. There are some method and I just looked up his name, I should be able to say it. Stanislavski methods of practice that I do use, but I don't fully entrench myself in it. In terms of character work, I really intensely, once I get cast, I go ham. I try to have a few meetings with the director, or at least one, where I kind of get the sense of what they think the character is and where they think that, you know, just like the basics, and then I dive deep. That's kind of why I want to talk about both Keelie from Stick Together, which is the original musical that we're performing at the Fringe, which, by the way, if you haven't yet already, you should click the links in my description. The first one, that's gonna be to donate, because hey, we're uni students and we're broke, so please donate, please, please. The second one is going to be a link to buying tickets to our previews in May, and if you haven't bought tickets to that yet, you should. Obviously, I know a lot of you guys are in California, and hey, I totally get that it's not just like a 10-pound ticket for you. It's also like $1,000 for a flight and another $1,000 for a hotel. If you can't make it, no sweat off your back. No sweat off my back. I know who you are, I know where we're from. But like what I said earlier about the donating thing, I think that's your good deed for the year, actually. So if you want to get that done and over quick, check that off your to-do list. I would just say, description, support the arts. Anyways, so Keelie from Stick Together is obviously, Gabby, when she wrote her, had, you know, a character structure for her, kind of had like a basic idea of what her purpose in the narrative would be. But a lot of it, because it is a new musical, is up to interpretation. And that's true for any character. It doesn't matter like if it's an established character, which we'll get to later with Paulette, but like with Keelie, I kind of got free reign. I can kind of decide whatever. And you know, obviously within the bounds of that the directors and the producers are giving me, but I kind of got free reign. I can kind of say whatever I want about this girl and they'd be like, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. There's a few things that I do when I try to get inside a character's head, and a lot of them have to do with doing things or listening to things or observing the world in a way that I think the character would, which does come into the whole method acting thing. But I once was talking to a friend who went to Cal State Fullerton? Who went to Fullerton and did their theater program, and said that one of her professors said that it kind of has to be like a jacket that you can take on and off. If you are gonna go a bit method about it, or if you are gonna wear the character, make sure that's something you're wearing and not something you are. It has to be something that you can come in and out of. For me, it takes me a little bit longer to connect with the character than it does to take it off. I feel like if I rush the character, just as if I rush myself, they're not fully who they could be. I do a lot of prep work to be able to get them there. Because I want to be comfortable with improv. It was something I wouldn't say that I am good at it, not yet, but I do want to be good at it. And I think part of that is feeling safe enough in myself to take that risk. And for me, the way that I can best support myself in that is doing the character work, is doing the prep work, is making sure that I know this character so well that I know exactly what they would say in this situation. And so I do a lot of things like, for example, I journal a lot as the character, even if it's just a few entries. I try to do it from different time periods of their life. I try to do it from different time periods of their life within the context of the play or the scene. And I really try to dig deep on like how they're feeling, why they're saying what they're saying, and that kind of thing. And I've been doing that since high school. I do journal entries because the way that I find that I best get to know myself and get to know how I would fix situations, how I would approach situations, is by journaling, is by writing, both like on the blog, hey, another plug, go look at the blog, but also just by journaling by myself. So I do that a lot for the characters because I find that more often than not, yes, analyzing speech and text like is very helpful. It's very helpful in the context of the play, but in the context of the character, I find it more helpful that after I've, done all of that as well, which is important and new. Before university, I didn't analyze as purposefully as I do now, especially for Keelie. She's a lot of her things are internal. She keeps a lot inside. She keeps herself very guarded, very protected. And how she processes things, how she sees the world, how she gets through things is self-reliant. Not all of these things work for every character. Like for Paulette, I don't think I'll be journaling. She doesn't really seem like she'd journal. For her, I'll be creating a playlist, which is another thing that I do. I really love making playlists for my characters. I did Deserted, which is the short film that I did last summer, or last spring and summer. I made playlists for Ava, and I journaled as Ava because in my head she was a musician and a writer. I did the journaling and I did the playlists, and it really helped me feel connected to her. There were certain styles of music, like a lot of like rock, not much pop, old like 70s dad rock, or even just kind of like singer-songwriter stuff that I feel like she really connected to, that really got me in her mind, in her zone. For Paulette, I feel like a lot of that is like 80s synth pop and like Cyndi Lauper. I know she loves Cyndi Lauper, like just that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on her playlist that really get me in the mindset of like someone who would be like that. I feel like you can tell a lot about people by the way that they dance, the music that they listen to. And for me, obviously, especially in musicals, like the way that somebody's gonna dance and somebody's gonna move, like that's really important to me. Obviously, Paulette is like a comedic relief character, and she's very quirky. She's very nerdy in a way, and she's very passionate. And so she moves a lot like, I don't want to say like sharper, but she has a lot more like zhuzh to her. And that's where the playlist comes in. It really helps me get into that like zhuzh mindset and like freedom. And with Keelie, For her, the music more so doesn't get me into her body, because to be fair, we don't really have most of the characters I play don't really have much choreography, but there's always choreography and movement. And so for Keelie, for her, most of her songs kind of help me get in the zone. She's a very ambitious control freak, almost. I just need her to get like in the zone, not necessarily like in the zone, you know what I mean? Because in the zone, that's Paulette. In the oop, that's Paulette. But in the zone, like serious, like this shit's gotta get done, that's Keelie. And so the type of music that I would play for the both of them is very different, which is why it's so important to me to create that space for them, to create them as a whole person with interests and favorites and things that they like and things that they dislike. Like I recently decided that Paulette is a huge, sorry, there's like a speck of dust falling. Paulette is a huge Lord of the Rings fan because in the UK version of Ireland, they changed a lot of the lyrics. Basically the entire song is different, and that's true for most of the songs, but Ireland, like the entire fucking song is different. And one of the lines is something about Lord of the Rings, basically, and her having a wedding like Lord of the Rings. And the way that the directors want me to do it is very like, she's fucking excited that it's about Lord of the Rings. So I was like, oh, she's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Have I ever watched Lord of the Rings? No. Am I gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna, because that's what's important to her. Which is another reason why I love doing character work, is because it kind of gets me interested and pulls me in directions that I wouldn't have otherwise gone down. In like exploring all these new characters, I get to explore new facets of myself, and I feel like self-discovery is such an interesting thing. That's why I love like journal prompts, I love writing prompts, I love asking questions that provoke the mind, because I just think it's really, I think it's fun, I think it's interesting, and I think it's helpful. Something about learning so much about them helps me maybe like implement better and brighter things in my life, or helps me recognize certain parts of myself that I didn't know were like a part of me, or like that I also felt so deeply. And I think that's really, really fucking sick, because at the end of the day, acting is the study of humanity in its purest form. Like acting is the study of humans. Acting is, you know, it's professional people watching, and I love it so much. I love learning new things about humans. I love watching their quirks. I love watching the way they move, their mannerisms, the words that they use. I just think people are so interesting, and so I'm interested in getting to know them, and especially when it's not in a weirdo creepy way with a character. Journal entries, playlists. I do a lot of script analyzation now. That is actually something that is new for me. Okay, so I used to analyze scripts, obviously, but in a really superficial way. I didn't really dig into like each line, like why are they saying it this way? Why wouldn't they say it this way? What's their intention with this? How is this gonna be felt? Like a lot of that I'm implementing now is because of this class that I've been taking this semester called Analyzing Text and Performances, go figure, that I've found really, really interesting, partially because I am obsessed with the professor. She is really, really cool. Yeah, so she's taught us a lot of really valuable shit this semester, and I've implemented it into my work, and I gotta say, it's working. Is it really tedious and really time consuming? Absolutely. But it's really useful and it's really helpful, and it's been helping me get to understand both characters. And especially when it comes to like, so when it comes to Paulette, all of that shit is set in stone. Like all that is set in stone, none of that can change. The show is what it is. It's gonna be word perfect, I've got it, whatever. It's gonna be in a Boston accent. The Boston accent is actually really hard. Hey, by the way, it's really hard. Also because I keep slipping into the New York accent, and then I panic, and then I slip into like some weird British Scottish combo. Don't get me started on myself. I will go in. So yeah, that's been odd for me. Anyways, that's a jacket that I could take on and off. And you know, if I put the accent back on, I'm like, okay, that's Paulette. Welcome to the hair affair. Like that's literally Paulette. With Keelie, it's a little bit almost harder to find that jacket because I don't really know who she is yet, because she's still developing. I'm getting closer. It's more so I know who she is at the beginning, I don't know who she is at the end yet. So it's finding those differences there as well. And so that's been new. Like trying to develop my own personal practice for a character who nobody knows who she is yet, not even the writers or directors. Really, like we have an idea, but we don't know, has been really scary, but also really exciting, because then that means like I get my input, I get my say to who I believe this character is and who I believe she could be. I'm really thankful for our creative team because they're truly so supportive and so helpful and so just kind of like I feel taken care of. I know I'm in good hands. It's been really exciting because I have watched this character go from kind of this one-dimensional thing to this well-rounded character. I don't know. I have had such a blast, like, being able to pitch ideas on who I think this person is and have them taken into consideration and sometimes having them accepted as fact. Like a journal entry I shared the other day, it really gave an insight to what I think the relationship dynamic is between Keelie and the other characters, and what I think her ambition and her drive, and how it's not always a positive thing, and how it can actually be really negative and harmful and blah 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 blah. Just like when I talk down to myself here, which I should stop doing because what the fuck. I know, sorry. It's just me talking into a room by myself, by the way, to a camera. Anyways, it gave a lot of insight to the character and not only how she operates within context of the relationships in the play, but also within the context of the world. They listened to it and they loved it, and obviously it's easy to love it when they're loving it, but I also love, like, when I present my ideas and they're like, actually I don't know that that's right, like maybe it would be this way, because then either way I'm learning about the character. I'm learning about the character as she will be, and it's so exciting, and I love it so much. To me, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, which is actually a really bad example because I'm really bad at Rubik's Cubes. I am so bad. Multiple people have tried to teach me. It has not gone well. But it kind of feels like I'm turning and unlocking like these new facets of the character, and I just feel myself getting closer, and I love it so much. Like, I just feel the puzzle coming together, because then it gets to that really like exciting stage where you get on set or you get on stage and you know exactly what you're doing, you know exactly who this person is, and you get to just play, and you get to just be them and show them to the world. It's exhausting. Mind you, this last week, the rehearsals have been really exhausting because they've been a lot of character work. And obviously when you're a person playing a character, it's also a lot of personal work. It's a lot of mental energy, it's a lot of emotional energy, and sometimes it's a lot of physical exertion. When it comes to mental and emotional energy, like, I have a lot of it, but I also use it up very quickly, especially on projects that I'm passionate about. And so I've been coming home feeling really drained lately, but in a really fulfilling way. It's been really hard and I've cried a lot. Like I said, like, discovering new things about the characters you're playing, at least for me, also helps you discover new things about yourself. And I learned a lot about myself this week and what I want from life and what I need from life and kind of how I see the world. And some of those things I really liked and some of the things I didn't like so much. And it reminded me that, like, you know, we're all a work in progress and we're all, you know, developing constantly. And I'm really tired. I'm really tired of developing, I gotta tell you. Like, growth and change sounds great until you have to do it. Anyways, that's a bit of the work that I kind of do to get my characters prepped and to make them into full, well-rounded people. Because if I didn't do that, you'd be able to tell. Because there are times when I haven't done that and I was able to tell. And I fucking hated it. Don't know if you know this about me. I'm really passionate about my work. Don't know if you know this about me. I'm an actor. So I'm really hard on myself because at the end of the day, like I've said on my blog, I want to be fucking great. I'm good at what I do. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. That's literally, it's not me being cocky. It's not being like, oh, I'm good at what I do. Like, I'm good at what I do. I'm here. A lot of people can say that though. A lot of people can say they're good at what they do. I want to be fucking great. I want to be so great, it's fucking obnoxious. I want to be so great that every movie that you see, that every like theater production that you hear of, you're like, she's in this shit too? Like, I want to be so great. And the only way to get there is to work as hard as I've been working, and honestly, even harder. I think that's kind of why I wanted to share with you, like, why I wanted to tell you all the work that I do put into it. Not for you to be like, oh yeah, you do work really hard, but mostly to like reassure you that, like, I'm not fucking around. You know, maybe it'll get me somewhere, maybe it won't. But I want to, at the end of the day, know that I gave it my fucking all. That I gave it my heart and soul. And part of that is, you know, doing the best that I can to create a heart and soul for each character that I play. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that insight into my process and my practice. I'm actually really nervous to post and share this. And I also know that this wasn't such an organized way of me being like, this is my process step by step, but I'm not an acting YouTube channel. I'm an actor with a YouTube channel. If y'all have questions, please do ask them below. But I can't give you like, oh, this is the practice I use, this is a theory, this is the person I study. I don't have any of that yet. And I probably honestly never will. I just kind of, again, whatever feels right for me. Yeah, that's me. And that's Keelie and that's Paulette. Kind of, to the best extent that I could tell you about them, because again, they're not finished. Now I'm gonna grab a thumbnail and then we're all gonna go home, okay? Anyways, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram. I forgot the place. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and also follow Stick Together the Musical on Instagram. And also follow QME Musical Theater on Instagram to get more updates about Legally Blonde as well. Go follow all those. Like, go and follow me, why not? Why not? Love you so much. I'll see you on Sunday at the vlog, which you should have to look at, registerwithdee.com. And I'll see you next Friday with a vlog, like actually with a vlog. But I just wanted to talk about this today, and so I did. Anyways, see you guys later. Love you, bye.
Aquí Santos, thank you.